Hi everybody! The team at Highfield have asked me to put together a video to show all of you and your children the changes that have happened at Highfield before we open on the 1st of June, but also so you can see that we've not changed too much. So first of all I want to show you the main entrance. If you come this way. Okay, so you can see here we've taped 2 metre markings on the floor and we've also taped a box on the floor. So this entrance will be used for NC2 class only. And you'll come in through the main entrance and queue, please observing 2 metre social distancing rules. And when you get to the front of the queue, I'll be here waiting for you to come in, and your child will step into the box, straight through into nursery school, straight in to wash their hands, and then we ask that you leave, back up the same pathway and trying not to have too much contact with the other parents in the queue. So the library will be closed because we're asking parents not to come on site, not to come into the building. If you would like to borrow some books, please let us know and we'll see what we can arrange. And then once you return the books will be stored safely for a period of a week before they go back on the shelf. If you want to speak to a member of staff, we ask that you phone the office or email in and we will get back to you as soon as we can, but we're trying to limit the number of people on the premises, so we won't be letting you come into the building. So as you can see, this is NC2 classroom. It's looking very different from when you left in March. Lots of the low-level displays have been taken down and lots of the resources have been removed from the room. The plan is that we'll have boxes on tables with resources in, and these are available for all the children to use over the 2 days that your child will be in, and then at the end of each day and at the end of the bubble, the early block or late block bubble, all of this will be deep cleaned. So the resources that will be in the boxes will be things that are easy for us to clean. This paper bag is the sort of thing that we're asking you to send your child's lunch in. We want disposable bags, whether it's a carrier bag, a food bag, a Ziploc bag or something like this. And not to send a drink in. We will provide the drinks throughout the day, and this means that we can throw away the lunch bags at the end of lunch, and we're having as few things as possible transferring between home and school. So just to let you know, if you're in NC2 and you're in the early block bubble, the early block bubble will be led by Mrs. Daniels with her team, and if you're in NC2 late block bubble, your bubble will be led by Mrs. Lewis with her team. So this is to show you the entrance that NC1 children will be using. So we're asking that you queue at the back gate, and again there is a marking on the floor for the child to step into to come into nursery, and we'll send your child straight into the classroom to take their bags and wash their hands. Can I remind you that we'd like you to put sun cream on your child before they arrive, and also remind you that we want you to move away as quickly as possible once you've dropped off. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, you can phone or email the office and we're happy to talk to you at any time. So we're asking that just one adult drops off your child at nursery and one adult comes to collect. We don't have a lot of space here at nursery, and this is as able as to social distance whilst you're queuing. There's markings that go down the path and up the path here so that you're able to queue and keep that 2 metre social distancing. We know this is really different for your children, and especially NC1 children are coming in through a different entrance. So if your child is upset, we would suggest that you move to the back of the queue so they can watch a few more children going in and see what the routine is, and then we'll try again and help your child to come in. We don't want any children to be upset, so by having a look at this video, hopefully they will be ready to come in and start on the 1st of June. So now we're in NC1 classroom. As you can see, again, lots of the resources and the displays have been removed, and resources will be put out on tables each day for the children to use. They will again be resources that are easy to clean, easy to wash. If you're in NC1 in the early block bubble, you'll be with Ms. Wardale and her team, and if you're in NC1 late block bubble, you'll be with Mrs. Norman and her team. So we've moved the pegs into the classroom because the patio is remaining closed at the moment. We ask that you use a drawstring bag that you can easily then put in the wash at the end of the day. So each child will have a peg allocated to them, and there'll be a name card hanging on the peg so the children know which is their peg each day. Again, this can all be cleaned down at the end of each day and between each bubble to minimise the risk of infection as much as we can. If your drawstring bag, try and make sure that you wash it at the end of each day and that you wash the clothes that are in it as well. And we also ask that at the end of the day, that when your child goes home, we recommend that they take off all their clothes, they go into the wash, and your child has a bath or shower before they mix with the rest of the family. So in the toilets, we've closed off the middle cubicle and we will just be using the two outside cubicles. This means that an adult can be in the toilets and support the children in both cubicles and make sure that she can keep some social distancing at the same time. The sinks are here filled with lots of soap. Hand washing will be encouraged all through the day, and we have turned off the hand dryer so children will be drying their hands with paper towels and then throwing the paper towels in the bin. So in each room we'll have lidded bins and we'll have boxes of tissues, and there'll also be hand sanitizer dispensers fitted in each room over the next week, ready for the 1st of June. We're going to teach the children when they cough or sneeze to catch it, bin it, kill it. That's the phrase that the government is suggesting that we teach the children, so you can start with that straight away. And we will be teaching catch it, bin it, kill it in the nursery. The bins will be emptied regularly through the day, and any rubbish out of the bin will be double bagged before it's put into the dustbins outside. We're very lucky here at Highfield because we have a beautiful nursery garden, and the aim is to split the garden into two, so our bubbles from NC1 and NC2 can both benefit from free flow into the garden, but also we can keep the two bubbles separate and keep the children safe. So one part of the garden will be the sand pit, the mud kitchen, the gazebo and the blocks. And the second part of the garden will include the climbing frame and the bikes, and the water tray will be out here with the chalkboards as well. So both groups of children will have a really wonderful experience while they're here and in the garden, and we will swap over which part of the bubble is, which bubbles use which part of the garden each week. Okay, so now we're in the butterflies room, and we're using the butterflies room as the isolation room if any child starts to show any COVID-19 symptoms. We're really hoping that this room won't need to be used, but if it is, we need to be prepared. So we have a set of PPE that we need to put on. So the adult would have a face mask, which as you can see, and they will pop on. Some gloves and an apron. The things that we always wear when we're changing nappies anyway, so the children will be used to us wearing these. This they may not be used to, but just to show you, it's still me under the mask. We also have a forehead thermometer to take temperature. Let's turn it on. It will scan. .37, so I am absolutely healthy with no problems at all. This will be used if any children are starting to show a temperature. Once you've collected your child, and we ask that you come the outside entrance to the butterflies door to collect, all of this PPE equipment will be double bagged and put into the bin. So our bubbles, both early block and late block, and NC1 and NC2, so 4 bubbles over the week, won't mix. And on a Wednesday, that will be time for the teachers to take their PPA, and it will also be time for the school to have a really deep clean whilst no children are on the premises. This will mean that between the 2 bubbles of early block and late block, we know we've cleaned both inside and outside as much as we possibly can. So that gives you a tour of what your children are going to see when they come back to Highfield on the 1st of June. It's very different, I know, but we've tried to keep as many staff as possible with the children so they'll have a familiar adult with them. Hasn't been able to happen for everybody, but for most people they'll have a familiar adult in the room with them. If we have more children wanting to start coming back to Highfield, our aim is to keep these bubbles the same, so nobody will add into these bubbles. But what we may need to do is a week on, week off rota. So you would come for 2 days, 1 week, and then you wouldn't come in the next week, and that would allow some more children to return, and then you would come back the following week. We're not at the stage of that at the moment, so we are able to offer everybody 2 days a week, and we will continue to offer our key worker children the sessions that they've been having. But just to say that if more families want to come back, we will need to relook at the rota of what we're able to offer. There will be a maximum of 13 children in each room. We're trying to keep that to 11, but we can go up to 13, but we certainly wouldn't go over that number in each room. So as you can see, lots and lots of work has gone into making the school safe for children to return. We've produced a really robust risk assessment, and we've also followed the local authority risk assessment to make sure that we're in line with all the other schools' recommendations in Suffolk, and this is all done to make sure we can keep your children and our wonderful team here at Highfield as safe as possible.